Hello and welcome! This character profile video is for the class Eclipse, and what you'll see is all of her skills, the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend, her skill combos, enhancements, player card, and a gameplay video. So, without further ado, I give you the class Eclipse. Here we go. And welcome to the skill slide. If you are new to my character profile videos, allow me to introduce the interface. On the left hand side is all of her skills. On the right hand side is all of the specials that go with those skills. And then the column CD is the cooldown for each of those skills. And the column charges is how many times you can use the skill. And hits is how many times that skill will hit a creature or player's opponent. And the column damage dash PVE is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against a creature in the world. And damage dash PVP is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against another player's character. And of course you have the passive at the bottom. Now just a few things to mention. On the right hand side where it says super armor in red, if you look to the bottom left corner, that just means it's not applied in arena. Everywhere else in the game it'll work, just not in arena. And if you look on the left hand side where it says will of the stars in blue, that just means that skill is connected to your passive, and I'll go over that in the PvP slide. But for now, take a moment to look at everything, and when you're ready, we will move on to the top 8 PVE skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PVE slide. So what I've done is I've taken all the skills and I've organized them according to the column of damage-PVE, from the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom. And the skill Royal Fencing Lunge is your highest damaging skill. So, want to take out some of the easy questions, and that is, why is there a block in green? That is 8 skills you can take into the game world at a time. And because it's organized from highest damage all the way down to the lowest, this is a good suggestion on what skills to choose when you're just starting out with your Eclipse. So, there is that. The other thing is looking at the damage percentage. When characters have about over 1,000, that's good. But if they have over, say, about 2,000%, that's best. That's like what you want to really hit like a truck. So her Royal Fencing Lunge is really going to do some damage, and I'm excited to talk about the passive when we get there, because it'll just mean that skill can do even more damage. So take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the top 8 PvP skills that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvP slide. There's a lot to cover on this slide, so let's go ahead and just knock out the basics. I have organized this slide according to the column of damage-PVP, from the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom. And Royal Fencing Lunge continues to be your highest damaging skill. You already know why there's a block of green, so let's get into another thing that is new, and that is people who do PvP, they want to bring out and use their super armor all the time. And if you're not familiar with what super armor can do for you, when we get to the player card slide of this video, the definition for it is at the bottom, so you will understand how it works. But for now, PvP players always want to know, hey, what super armor can I use in arena, so I'm not messing around with what I can use in arena and what I can't. And that is, looking at this list, you have Meteor Fletch and you have Remise. And looking at the rest of it, it is just those 2 skills. I'm just double checking here. that you have, and I would suggest Meteor Fletch because it is a higher percentage damage along with giving you the super armor that you want. And if you wanted to do Remise, you could. That's fine. So that is the next thing. I also want to cover what your passive can do for you. So give me a moment. Let me start by just reading it to you. If you're just listening to this, your passive is called Star Heart. And the definition for it is, it's kind of like a paragraph of, yay, this is great. Draws a star's breath from the heart of the stars and enhances herself to gain more power. And boy, they're not wrong. She definitely gains more power, and I'm getting there. So looking over to the right, when you have your passive active, you recover 50% of Star's Breath upon skill use. So using a skill will give you 50% of Star's Breath, and I will show you where that is at in gameplay. It's coming. When Star's Breath is at 100%, the following effect below, just right below, is applied, and all of Star's Breath is consumed when using a skill or this skill. So I know it's like, what? But don't worry, let's move down to what Star's Breath gives you. The evasion status applied while preparing the next skill. So first of all, I was trying to figure out what that meant, and I think I can give you an understanding of what it means. So I'm almost there. Hang in there. I actually have a video for you guys that will explain or show you this stuff, but let's go ahead and finish the definition here. First of all, this is not applied in Arena. I know it's a big boo because that would have been awesome, but it's not. So here it is. The next skill that you do after your Star's Breath is 100% is increased by 50%. Let's think about that. Royal Fencing Lunge does 2,440% damage. 50% more of that is gonna be so nice. It also increases PvP damage dealt by 10% for 10 seconds, and it decreases PvP damage received by 10% for 10 seconds as well. So, what I'd like to do is let's go ahead and cut to a video where I show you this passive and how it works. So give me a moment to cue that up. Here we go. Okay, here we are, and our Eclipse is ready. The first thing I'd like to do is show you what Royal Fencing Lunge looks like as a skill. That's not it, and it is right here. There we go. And that's Royal Fencing Lunge. Let's go ahead and show you one more time what it looks like. Let's go ahead and hit the preview. Okay, so now that you know, that is the only skill I have here at the bottom, so we can show what the passive can do. And we are going to mess with these guys. So let's go ahead and zoom back out, and I want to zoom as high as I possibly can so you can see the damage numbers. This skill normally does 2,400 to almost 3,000 damage. So look for the numbers that fly above. So look at the bottom bar, you see how the purple, that is your Star's Breath. So I used this skill twice, it's 100%. The next time I use it, it's prepping. So that's what I think that's what they meant. And now that was using it all. It went a little fast, I'm going to do it again. So now you know what to look for. Use the skill, 50%. Use the skill, 100%. One more time, use the skill to prep, 2,900 and some, and watch the numbers now. They're almost 4,000, and some were 4,000. So that is definitely a nice increase, and this is how your passive works. I'm gonna run out of here so I'm not being hit. And what we're going to do is just zoom in and we will return to the PvP slide. Here we go. And welcome back. So now that you know how the passive works, just want to review and recap. If you use any skill, that purple bar at the bottom will fill up 50%. And you use another skill, now it's 100%. And then the third skill you use, doesn't matter what it is, will be a prepping skill. Because the next one, the fourth skill you use, will actually be the 50% increase in damage. Now, the thing that I'm a little confused about, and you're going to be the one to check this out, is that it says in the passive that it increases PvP damage dealt by 10% for 10 seconds. Well, I know it says this is not applied in arena, but maybe that is the evasion status applied while prepping the next skill. Maybe that part is not in arena. And when you go into arena, you find that, oh, I used the skill once and then twice, and now it's 100%. And hey, look at that. The next skill hit harder and there was no prepping stage. So I'm not sure. It is for you to discover. But you know the mechanics of how it works, so all I can say is have fun with it. So take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, we're going to move on to the skill combo slide. Here we go. And welcome to the skill combo slide. Before I tell you how this works, let me explain where you can find it. If you're in gameplay and you hit up the menu screen, and then tap all the way over to the right hand side where it says skill or skills. You tap on that and now you're on the skills screen. Now you're there, you look to the middle and go down and you'll see a magnifying glass with a circle around it, and it will say skill combos to the right. You tap on that and a little window will come up saying list of skill combos. Now you're where we are. So what I've done is, instead of you having to scroll up and down, I've taken all of it and put it on one screen for you to print out or put on another monitor if you're using an emulator. But if you do print it out, I highly recommend it's black and white ink you use, because this looks a little heavy on the color. So just, throwing it out there. So now that you're there, let's tell you how this works. On the left hand side in blue is the skill that Perlabess recommends that you start with, and then on the right hand side in gray is the skill that you would chain into or use next. So for example, at the top, Royal Fencing Thrust, you would tap on that skill, and then the very next one you use is Royal Fencing Lunge. And as you can see, Royal Fencing Lunge is a crowd favorite on the right hand side in gray. So looking at this briefly, I have a 3-hit combo for you, and that is, if you look to the middle in the blue column, you start with Meteor Fletch, and then you chain that and do Royal Fencing Sweep. It's kind of the only other thing you can do except for lunge, so that made it easy to point this out. So Royal Fencing Sweep is in blue on the left hand side. It's the second one from the top, and then that one obviously goes into Royal Fencing Lunge. There you go. 3-hit combo: Meteor Fletch, Royal Fencing Sweep, Royal Fencing Lunge, and repeat. So that is how this works. So take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the enhancement slide. Here we go. And welcome to the enhancement slide. If you are new to this slide, allow me to introduce the interface. On the left hand side is all of her skills. On the far right hand side is all the branch damage connected to those skills. In the middle is 4 columns. The first, second, and fourth I made for things that do something for your Eclipse. The third column is reserved for things that happen to the creature or player's opponent that you are facing. And sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but that is the general layout. You know, I might get more negative effects towards the creature or opponent than I do positive, and yeah, it's just tough to fit it in. So let's go ahead and look at this. First of all, I want to call your attention to things that are colored red. Like if you look at the skill Royal Fencing Riposte, you'll see that forward G for forward guard is highlighted red. That just means that doesn't apply in arena. You know this from the start of the video. If you look at the third skill down, Royal Fencing Sweep, and go all the way over to the right where it says heal 120 HP per hit, the word heal is colored differently because that skill or that section enhancement does not apply in Path of Glory. So the section of the game called Path of Glory, whenever you use that skill, Royal Fencing Sweep, once you unlock the heal will not occur in Path of Glory, but everywhere else in the game, it will be fine. Now, what are you looking at? If you go to your skills screen and you tap on a skill and you look at the icon for it, you'll see other icons like little circles around it. Those are enhancements to your skill. So let's take the top one, Royal Fencing Thrust. There are 3 enhancements on top of the skill you already know. Something that bleeds your opponent for 60 damage. Another one is their crit chance is reduced by 5% for 5 seconds the minute you hit them. And the third one is their DP is minus 20 for 10 seconds. So their actual CP goes down by 20 for 10 seconds. Now you need to unlock all of these. Some of these things you could just simply tap on them, pay silver, and unlock it. Others have a red number next to it, and that means you need to get that skill up to a certain level to have access to the enhancement, and then pay the silver to unlock it and enjoy. Now, where do you get these things to level them up? They are called skill books, and they're located in the world of Elion and the world of Hadum. When you fight creatures, you'll get these books, and you just pay the silver to learn these books, and you're increasing your level of your skill. So for example, for Royal Fencing Thrust, if say bleed inflicts 60 damage every 1 second for 3 seconds had a number 2 next to it, this is just my personal opinion, but it might be like 2 books is all you need to get that level up to 2 and unlock that bleed effect. But you do need to unlock everything, and I highly recommend it, because if you could look at this overall, when you unlock everything for her, she is faster, she hits she's able to hit more targets, and her skill cooldowns are reduced so much more. And there's even one called Star Shatter that if you unlock that, a flow or additional attack is something else on top of the general thing. So Star Shatter will do everything it normally does, but it will change to, instead of 4 hits, to 6 hits. So I highly encourage you to unlock everything to unlock the full potential of Eclipse, and she is faster and hits harder and just is overall quick. So take a moment to look at everything, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide called the player card. Here we go. And welcome to the player card. It is like a baseball card. It is all the slides you previously saw all combined onto one screen, and there's something new. So let's go ahead and show you how the interface works. At the top is the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommended, and to the right of that is something new. It's called immobilization. Anytime that one of your skills knocks a creature or opponent down, stuns them, knocks them down, bound, anything that just immobilizes them, that's listed here. It's green that you have one, and then the next column is how many do you have. And if you're asking yourself, why does this even matter? I will explain as we get towards the bottom of this player card. So the how many, let's take an example. Royal Fencing Thrust. Yes, you have an immobilization and you have 2 of them. Look at the skills below for the first skill, and the immobilization all the way over to the right is that you daze your opponent on hit and knock back them on the last hit. So when you attack a creature, you'll daze them, and then once you're done, you'll knock them back on the last hit. So those are immobilizations. It takes time for them to get prepared to counterattack you. And this is a good thing, especially in the world of PvP. So, you know how the skills screen works, and below that we just got through talking about the enhancements, and below that is the legend for what is not applied in Path of Glory and not applied in Arena, and now we come to the definitions for forward guard and super armor. Forward guard means that incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. If I could give you a visual, forward guard is like somebody put a big shield in front of you that really is protecting you. So if somebody's trying to attack you, they're gonna hit nothing except that shield. If they're in the front, to the right or the left and trying to attack you, same thing. But if they get behind you, then your forward guard isn't there and they can do regular damage. So that is why some people love forward guard, but you just got to be aware of how it works. Now, for super armor, this means that incoming damage will be reduced, and effects that immobilize you like stun, knockdown, freeze, etc. will not happen for a duration of time. Now, I know that there's mechanics in the game that might hint at when someone has super armor and when someone doesn't, but let's just say it's kind of tough to know. So a PvP player will refresh their super armor all the time, meaning they will take, let's just take the skill Remise, which has super armor. They'll do that, then they'll do one more skill, and then another skill, and then they'll do Remise again to refresh the super armor and keep it going so they always have it. Now, here we come to the immobilization section. If you are doing Royal Fencing Thrust, Rune Scythe, and as many of those number 1s as you can, and coming back to Royal Fencing Thrust and Rune Scythe, you are throwing at your opponent a lot of immobilizations, and there's that higher percentage chance that one of those will get in when their super armor is not active. That's why this section matters. You just want to keep throwing immobilizations at them, because when you get that in and they're on the ground, they need to spend time to get up, and you can get in that hit or that second hit while they're getting up, and that really could turn the tide for the battle of PvP. So that is what definitely what people look for and do. So take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, the music is gonna change. We're gonna go into a gameplay video where we show you what Eclipse can do. Here we go. And welcome to the gameplay video. Before we get started, let us show you where we're at. We're over here in Balanos, and we're over here at Kron Castle entrance, and we're here, well, because their CP is that much, and our CP is this much at the very bottom. She'll be fine. The way this works is we will have Eclipse fight for about 2, maybe 3 minutes, at which time we will go back to town. I'll give my outro and say thank you. So, without further ado, I give you the class, Eclipse. Here we go. it's almost time to head back to town. There we go. So while the loading screen is coming up, allow me to take this moment to say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like my videos, please subscribe, like, let people know I'm always making more videos, and there are so many more videos to do. So what we're going to do now is just move the camera and zoom in to Eclipse to just have, showcase her and put her in a good position. And what we always do is we'll have her wave. Give a wave. There we go. And once again, thank you very much for watching this video, and you have yourself a great day. Take care. Bye now.